كان في مشاكل. اوكي.
أيوة recording in progress.
Okay, على الكلاود right?
I don't know.
We will discover يعني at the end.
Oh, I can't do that.
عادي.
Okay, 3 minutes to go.
Of course we will talk in English إن شاء الله.
Okay, sure. So, Yahya, you gonna present me first, or I directly start?
لا, I'm going to present you and talk about the pharmaceutical industry. Just a small opening, يعني 30 seconds to 1 minute, and then you can go ahead and start.
Okay.
You can now share the screen if you want.
Yes.
Okay, 2 minutes.
دكتور هلا صورتك مش مبينة.
بينت هلا؟
No.
رجعنا؟
هاي الصورة بينة
هلا بينت يا اوكي.
ومشي الحال.
وهي السلايدز يس بينة. 1 minute to go.
Can you talk in English please? The whole lecture راح تكون بالإنجليش.
Okay.
هاي بالquestions and answers. Okay. We will start in 1 minute إن شاء الله.
هلا كيف مبين عليك؟
هلا السلايدز مش معمول لهم شير هلا.
مزبوط، بس مبين، بس أنا مبين في حوالي ورود وأشياء، يعني كله طبيعي.
لا بس انتي
نعم تحت. أوكي.
backgrounds. مبين الباك جراوند.
Okay.
Can you start, please, and use English? We'll start in exactly 1 minute. اوكي يلا نبلش. بس قبل ما نبلش بالنسبة للاتtendees you cannot use the microphone. أي question, anything, you can use the Q&A box. And yeah, Bismillah. So good evening, everyone. I'm here with Dr. Hala Dips.
Hello.
And welcome to this webinar on identifying opportunities in the pharmaceutical industry worldwide for pharmacies. So just a little introduction. The pharmacy industry is a rapidly evolving field that is continually expanding and advancing, providing pharmacists with a wide range of career opportunities. As the healthcare industry becomes increasingly complex, pharmacists are playing an increasingly vital role in patient care, medication management, and public health initiatives. In this webinar, we will explore the current state of the pharmacy industry and discuss the latest trends and developments that are shaping the industry. We will also examine the various career paths available to pharmacists and identify the opportunities that exist in different areas of the pharmacy industry, such as community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, research and development, and pharmaceutical sales. It is my pleasure to introduce you, Dr. Hala Dips, a professional with a diverse background in the pharmaceutical and healthcare industries. Dr. Hala holds a bachelor's degree in pharmacy and pharmaceutical sciences from the Damascus University in Syria, which is accredited by the World Education Service in Canada. She graduated in 2014 and since has made a significant contributions to this field. Dr. Hala furthered her education by obtaining a master's degree in business administration from the Lebanese University in Lebanon in 2018, which is also accredited by the World Education Service in Canada. Dr. Hala, you may start.
And nice to meet you here. A brief conclusion is the pharmaceutical industry is a vital and rapidly growing sector in the industry, and it's responsible for researching, developing, and producing medications for the treatments of various diseases and illness. This industry includes a broad range of activities such as drug discovery, clinical research, manufacturing, marketing, and distribution, and we will go for all this in our slides. So this introduction, let's share the slides and begin. Okay. Exploring the future of pharmaceuticals, innovations, challenges, and opportunities for aspiring pharma professionals. Okay. Let's start by introducing the types of pharmaceutical industry companies. In general, our broad categories of pharmaceutical companies are, let's say, brand developers, These are giant healthcare companies, just like Pfizer. These companies have different departments, each dealing with a particular medicine or disease. Brand developers are.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
for the interruption, but the slides, they're not, we cannot see them.
Okay, I'll reshare them.
Yes.
No? What about no?
Still no, they're not visible.
Okay.
Yes, right now. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was saying that we are exploring the future challenges and opportunities aspiring pharma professionals. So I started by addressing the types of pharmaceutical industry companies. And in a broad categories of pharmaceutical companies, there are brand developers. These are giant healthcare companies like Pfizer. These companies have different departments, each dealing with a particular medicine or disease. Brand developers are three types: formulation manufacturers, API, active ingredient manufacturers, and contract manufacturing organizations, it's CMO. For generic competition, several pharma companies produce generic versions of a particular branded drug. Generic medicines are available in the market as lower rates, though the products do not pay the high cost of research and development. Development is a vital part of medication manufacturing. It plays a significant role in small as well as large companies. The purpose of R&D, research and development, is to perform trials to detect the characteristics of diseases. And without this crucial step, it will be impossible to identify and cure disease. There are other categories of pharmaceutical industry companies, such like business cater, biological product businesses, and which produce serums and vaccines, compound production, chemical productions. And to be more specific, there is pharma manufacturing and pharma marketing, distribution, and retail. Okay, so as pharma manufacturing, hello, do you hear me? It's a lab-based, hello? Pharma manufacturing and pharma marketing, distribution and sale, manufacturing and production, engineering, science, quality assurance, quality control, validation, and for the retail, such as store shops, cosmeceutical shops, and as the medical devices. For to go specifically for each department, let's start with research and development and the drug safety. The first step in manufacturing is to do of clinical trials to develop a product. This process actually takes years. And for every medicine that ends up being used by patients, there are thousands of more and then never make it through this process. What happens during product research and development? Actually, there are many stages, starting by discovery and development. This stage involves identifying and testing potential new drug candidates that can address a specific medical need or conditions. Then the next step will be the preclinical testing. Once potential new drug candidates have been discovered and selected, they undergo preclinical testing using a range of laboratory-based assays and animal models. Preclinical testing examine the safety of the new drug and its potential toxicity levels in animal subjects. Then, if the preclinical testing goes well, investigational new drug application marks the start of a clinical testing, and then new drug candidate in human. This regulated step comes after successful preclinical testing, as I said, and have established the safety and potential efficacy of a new drug. This investigational new drug application includes all preclinical testing data and the human trial plans. Then it goes for the clinical trial phases. Actually, it's 3 phases. There are a series of human studies that evaluate the safety, efficacy of a new drug candidate in humans. Phase 1 involves people and study safety of metabolism with a small number of healthy volunteers. Phase 2 is for examining safety and efficacy with larger groups of people, and phase 3 evaluates safety and efficacy with the target population of the drug, which is intended to help. Then the new drug application, based on the results of the previous stages of a pharmaceutical company, can submit a new drug application and to the FDA. Including all the safety and efficacy data from the preclinical testing and the clinical trials with a potential drug application, and got the approval of the FDA, which is the final step of research and development. After that, post-marketing surveillance and monitoring is an ongoing process to monitor a new drug performance in the market after the approval. And in conclusion, the drug development process is rigorous and highly regulated. And it involves a long and complex journey, actually. So thousands of drugs didn't pass all these trials, but the few ones we are in the market, those are who did. So to take a closer look to research and development department and the roles of the pharmacist or the healthcare students or healthcare jobs in research and development, there are in 4 categories: lab-based, regulatory affairs, clinical trials, and pharmacovigilance, which is the drug safety. For lab-based R&D roles, are several types of career available in the pharmaceutical industry that include research scientists, clinical research associate, regulatory affairs specialist, medical writing. Each one has his own responsibilities and tasks, and all are participating to provide us with the quality assurance specialists and pharmacovigilance specialists, and they are combined to bring us the latest and the safest and the more efficient particular products in the market. So that after all, research and development career in the pharmaceutical industry involve working across multiple to develop and therapies for patients. And for a closer look, and specifically in lab-based roles, For example, for a senior scientist in lab-based role, which may promoted to a senior and principal scientist, they are involved in every product research and development phase that I mentioned before. The specific type of science, the necessary skills and the duties of the role will depend on the type of product in development. Product development scientist who works to create an efficient and successful path to a product creation. Some of their jobs responsibilities include planning, organizing production trials, recording and analyzing the data, and consulting with an engineer and other scientists on staff. So the product development scientists and biochemists, microbiologists, lab technicians, all are roles in lab-based R&D, so they are work in the laboratory. Microbiologist, scientific professional who studies microorganisms, they play a key role in pharmaceutical or medical devices manufacturing by testing to monitor levels of microbial contamination at all stages of the manufacturing process. Laboratory technician and a chemical process with a biological organism. The product development science created biologists study and explore the process. So that for the clinical trials role, there are research studies performed on a drug to establish or check its safety and effectiveness before the product can be prescribed by a doctor or sold to patients. It needs to be approved by regulatory bodies such as FDA, MEA, PMDA. These bodies give approval based on the outcome of the clinical trials. So the company needs to show their product is safe to be used and has the desired effects. And these are the role of the clinical trials. For example of the job and categories including it is a clinical trial administrator, CTA, which provides administrative support to clinical trial sites, and clinical research associates. Clinical research associates coordinate the running of clinical trials, and this can involve including writing trial protocols, training of staff, trial sites, collection of trial data, writing reports, documenting, and for the epidemiologist, it's focused on the study of who gets sick and why. They figure out how outbreak affect certain communities and try to find solutions to prevent them in the future. And the healthcare professionals, including doctors, nurses, and pharmacists, are a part of jobs from the clinical trial role, because they can also often find roles here depending on the trial or the level of healthcare oversight needed. And let me add for the pharmacovigilance or drug safety roles, it may be a pharmacovigilance officer who called the drug safety officer, who are responsible for monitoring and reporting the effectiveness of any adverse effects or side effects of pharmaceutical products on the market in the general population and in hospitals and research trial. So to succeed a career in pharmaceutical research and development, there are a number of skills and knowledge area that are essential for. So if you have thought that R&D is a goal for you, look at your personality and see if you have these skills. Is a strong scientific background, which is critical to understand the underlying mechanism of drugs and their interactions with biological systems. It needs a deep understanding of biology, chemistry, and pharmacology. Analytical skills, the ability to analyze and interpret complex data is a must. This includes statistical analysis, designing and interpreting experiments, data visualization, and critical evaluation of scientific literature. Communication skills, clear and effective communication with colleagues, stakeholders, and regulatory agencies is essential. Including written communication, presentation skills, and the ability to explain complex scientific concepts to non-experts. In addition to that, the regulatory knowledge is in-depth knowledge of the regulatory processes and guidelines for drug development is important to ensure compliance and the approval process. So, also, thinking is needed, project management skills to manage complex projects effectively, including planning, budgeting, scheduling, collaboration, pharmaceutical research, and involves in the disciplinary teams. So the ability to work collaboratively and build a productive relationship across the functional area is essential. Business acumen or commercial implication of drug development is important too. Overall, a successful career research and development required a combination of strong scientific knowledge, analytical skills, regulatory expertise, critical thinking management, and collaboration. The other department in the pharmaceutical industry is manufacturing. Manufacturing has many departments: quality assurance, operations, production, quality control, science, and engineering. To quickly introduce pharmaceutical in manufacturing, active ingredients and other excipients are formulated into an acceptable pharma dosage forms, such as solids like tablets, semi-solids, cream and ointments, liquids, syrup injection. In addition to the biotechnology manufacturing process, which involve various stages of preparations. But overall, all the manufacturing process involves purifying, compounding, mixing, filling, and packaging. So it's also requires a strict compliance with international regulatory guidelines, just like GMP, good manufacturing practice. And the manufacturing process of each pharmaceutical product varies depending on the specific medication intent, use, and formulation. So after manufacturing pharmaceutical products undergo rigorous quality control testing and analysis to ensure purity, safety, efficacy, and stability. Of course, this makes sense when you consider that what's being manufactured will be consumed by patients and is intended to help treat illness or disease. It's extremely important that every batch of medicine meets the same standards. There will never be not so good batch of medicine. These are the strict regulations, the particular requirements, needs staff trainings, process documentations, adhering to protocols during all parts of the manufacturing process. Not only that, regulatory authorities can and will audit companies' compliance with these regulations. So the types of roles in manufacturing of pharmaceutical products or manufacturing stages, including production engineering, science, quality assurance, quality control, validation and operation and all that. And these jobs actually suits the people with the previous manufacturing experience from any other industry, but the entry-level manufacturing jobs also can be good entry point for people changing career with no previous manufacturing expertise. So to start in pharmaceutical industry, and need and knowledge and skills will be taught now. So example for jobs for this category includes for production roles, it's process operators, production managers and supervisor. Process technicians or operators can be each in compounding, in mixing, labeling and packaging. So they work in a discrete manufacturing environment, run and maintain factory equipment and assembly processes, monitor and check the product quality, document results, and strict adherence to protocols. And some companies might call this role production technician, manufacturing operators, production operator, assembler, or whatever the title is. The responsibility of these jobs is for taking the finished product of manufacturing process and ensuring that is well manufactured according to the GMP, packaged in line with company and industry standards, and make it ready for sale and distribution. And that is directly responsible for overseeing and organizing the operations. That is the role of the production supervisor or the production manager. Responsibility is to oversee and organize the equipment, staff, processes on a production floor, and they oversee the schedule and the routine production activities, as well as acting as first line troubleshooting. Should not problem arise. Some companies may call it manufacturing supervisor and process supervisor. However, to do a manufacturing job in pharmaceutical, we need to have many skills in production and process operations. We'll gather it together in the end of this slide. So let me talk about quality assurance roles. Quality assurance, in brief, is a process-oriented and focus on removing any variation from the process of manufacturing. This is achieved by creating, revising, and strictly implementing a set of precisely defined process and quality standards that, when followed exactly, it ensures the final quality of the product. And quality assurance is preventive by nature and make sure things are done right first time. So the quality assurance role suit the candidates with experience in similar quality roles in other industries and with the previous pharmaceutical manufacturing experience who look for specialized. Example for roles in this category, it includes quality assurance specialist, quality engineer, and documentation specialists, or combined for monitors report results from process and procedures within manufacturing industries. Results are continually compared to predetermined expected ranges, and deviation from expected results need to corrective measures. So quality engineer worked within the quality team to ensure the overall quality of manufacturing products. And so the single batch manufacture and ensure that every is complied with the good manufacturing practice. For quality control roles, actually quality control is product oriented. Quality assurance is process oriented, but quality control is product oriented. So it focuses on testing samples from the manufacturing process to make sure they meet the required specifications and standards. In pharmaceutical manufacturing, the sample testing is done in laboratories. So people who work in QC, quality control, usually have the science and laboratory backgrounds. For example, quality control analyst, associate, and specialist. The quality control analyst is the one who tests the product of manufacturing process to ensure that it meets defined criteria and check its quality. And the quality associates and the quality control specialist are other names of the quality control analyst and quality control analyst. With the validation roles, who the department assures that documents and equipment are processed to ensure that action process or system leads to a consistent and reproducible results. So to be successful in this department, there are many skills needed, actually, such as scientific knowledge, regulatory knowledge, project management skills, data analysis skills. It means the ability to analyze and interpret a large amount of data, which is crucial for all roles in pharmaceutical industry, not only to the manufacturing phase. Communication skills as well, quality control and assurance. The pharmaceutical industry requires a strict adherence to quality control and assurance protocols, and the professionals must be able to implement and maintain these systems. And so commercial awareness, ethical and legal consideration, adaptability, and flexibility, because pharma industry constantly evolving, and professionals must be able to adapt to new technologies, regulations. Moving to the third category of pharmaceutical industry is distribution and the types of roles in this departments focuses in advertising and promoting the company's pharmaceutical products in line with relevant rules and regulations. For example, for these jobs, it starts with entry levels like medical representatives. There are salespeople who meet with the front line healthcare professionals to keep them up to date with the products. Then there will be a product manager who is specialized with a specific product or categories of products, such like oncology or products for diabetes. And then would be a healthcare development manager. It's typically work with health sector managers and decision makers. Medical science liaison is a non-sales role to provide specialist detailed scientific information to customers of levels. And then the marketing assistant is a junior marketing team member who assisting with the general marketing duties. Marketing executive is a senior marketing team member, is developing marketing plans, developing marketing materials in accordance with relevant rules and regulations. So apparently in all these roles, the skills needed is the excellent communication skills, as it's obvious. This ability to effectively communicate ideas and information and benefits in a clear and concise manner is vital for anyone working in sales and marketing. Being an active being an active listener is a responsibility also, because understanding and responding to the customer needs is key to building strong relationships to closing deals. And so empathy is needed, persuasion is needed, creativity to develop innovative solutions and ideas that resonate with customers can help companies stand out from the competition. Analytical thinking, time management, product knowledge, since knowing every detail about the products or service being sold is essential for building trust with the customers and the closing deals. Relationship building is building strong and lasting relationships with the customers can lead to repeat business and valuable referrals. Confidence as well is needed to be a successful role in marketing, distribution, and sales manufacturing industry. Those are specifically or what roles can health care personnel can do in pharmaceutical industry. So to identify the key factors affecting the success of pharmaceutical company, we will go for getting more details about what factor affect the success of these companies. There is a direct correlation between the countries of origin of biggest pharmaceutical companies and the leading countries delivering pharmaceutical innovations to the world, such like UK, Switzerland, Germany, France, and Japan. Those are the most fertile in new drug patent applications. So there is no surprises at all of those countries are in the list of top-ranking pharmaceutical companies with the evident leadership by US. Surely, it's not about organic growth, as all the leading companies are very active, and the partnerships. It's about special ecosystem which allows academic, venture, and pharma businesses to build a solid sequence of consistent value creation. All the top-ranking companies have commonalities, growth drivers in high value-added products, innovation, clear strategy, priorities in therapeutic area of high unmet needed, geographic focus on biggest markets with high-level acceptance of innovations, such like USA, Western Europe, China, and Japan. This trend toward risk-taking and investment into R&D on early stages of development, a sufficient amount of investments into scientific R&D. So here again, no surprise, we see direct correlation between the top R&D spent companies and top-ranking pharmaceutical companies in the world. So a number of things have an impact on the pharmaceutical industry expansion. Following are the few of them. Let's talk about research and development, which if every industry needs research and development. Additionally, R&D services in the biopharmaceutical research sector not only help businesses to make money, but also improve the outcome by saving more lives. The process of developing new vaccinations and therapies has grown more difficult. Pharmaceutical enterprises can follow manufacturing methods for the reliable R&D services. So the market is expanded with numerous new medications. As a result, consumers buy these pharmaceuticals in large quantities and fueling the industry continuing. So the number of pharmaceuticals that pass the approval of process, which is frequently drawn out process, determines the business ability to recoup their investment and turn on profit. One of the key factors affecting the success of pharmaceutical company is government guideline, since the extent of conventional regulations also has a significant impact on how profitable a pharmaceutical sector is. So the level of government influence over the pharmaceutical sector varies with each succeeding administration. Government regulations includes legislation governing drugs and certification, while these rules are less stringent in various countries. Additionally, the pharmaceutical business is not allowed to advance in underdeveloped nations, such as many of the MENA region countries. So therefore, adhering to the stringent regulations set forth by the governing authorities is an expensive process that costs the pharmaceutical industry millions of dollars annually. So that also affects the consumer demand, which is also a key factor affecting the success of pharmaceutical companies, since it has a significant impact on the pharmaceutical industry expansion due to the requirement for the drug makers to outline the benefits and the drawback of drug marketing to consumer and significantly rise. More educated than ever before, customers now properly consider drug information. Because of this, there is a constant and a growing demand for economical medications, which has an impact on both the direct and indirect development of the pharmaceutical sector. So insurance and managed care are a key factor affecting the success of pharmaceutical company as well. In managed care, pharmacies carry out a range of tasks, such as managing and distributing medications, keeping an eye on patient safety, developing clinical programs, running the business, analyzing treatment results, and managing costs. Healthcare organizations, Medicare and managed care firm, insurers, third-party companies who frequently foot the bill for the cost of prescriptions medications on behalf of their clients. So these facilities can facilitate the drug price negotiation for the third-party players, and consequently, pharmaceutical industry will see their price decline and their profit margin decline. So these are a key factor affecting success of a pharmaceutical company, and their business will be driven as much, if not more, by better management. There are also challenges with the manufacturing industry. The current challenges will be discussed in next slide. Those are current challenges in this decade. So, analyzing the current trends and challenges the pharmaceutical industry over the past couple of years, been many pharma companies' challenges. The global pandemic created an unprecedented demand for vaccines. It's the COVID-19 pandemic has changes all the pharma industry perspectives. So it resulted in a worldwide shortage. And now almost it's the half of 2023, and the industry is still scrambling to catch up. So the pharmaceutical industry still faces significant challenges and is looking for innovation solutions. So the most significant pharmaceutical industry problem starts with the supply chain disruptions. Go to a hospital or visit a doctor, we expect the drugs we need to be there waiting for us. But what happens, it's hard for us to imagine that a hospital may tell a patient that their treatment needs to be because of medicine shortage, or they are simply unavailable because of the logistic challenges in pharmaceutical industry. So unfortunately, this is the reality we are living in because of pharma supply chain challenges. It should be noted that these problems existed even before the recent pandemic, but it increased with the pandemic. Anyway, the economic challenges for pharmaceutical industry made shortage even more acute. When everything is running smoothly, the economics of the global supply chain can bring in a lot of profit, but when it fails, the human cost is enormous. In fact, some basic essential medications that are used every day in outpatient clinics have been short supply, and that's make a current challenge in pharmaceutical industry. Other challenge is to invest software. While managers at pharma companies are always looking to improve processes to increase efficiency, sometimes technical contingencies may cause a delay in the entire pharmaceutical sector. Therefore, to reduce the challenges of their pharmaceutical supply chain, they changed their strategy and made the most use of resources available. While we are in the midst of the global digital era, companies need to invest more in monitoring software and enhance efficiency. Such software will help you to see the location of your product in the supply chain, which can help predict potential problems. And talking about manufacturing software, which plays a critical role in optimizing and streamlining pharma manufacturing processes, such like enhancing and the quality control, ensuring regulatory compliance, and the process of manufacturing pharmaceutical product or form is step by step well digitalized. So all that needs for qualified professionals, and I mean by qualified professionals is the one with our workforce who are talk about the people performing technical and intellectual work, requiring extensive knowledge in certain fields. In fact, the productivity of an industry depends on the qualifications employed workforce. So a qualified workforce or qualified professional can be relied upon is one of the essential elements that help ensure promising future of pharmaceutical industry. Industry needs workers with the necessary knowledge, skills, and experience. So there needs to be more investment in highly qualified workforce to continue progress. Training the workers will allow them to obtain the necessary skills to perform their daily tasks correctly and efficiently, and will also help fill in any gaps in skills that may have. So the need of qualified professions is the current challenge because not all the professionals go for industry. They go for marketing. It's more easier. So it's difficult to have a qualified professionals in health care sector. So other challenge is there is a challenge for reaching healthcare professionals. So working with healthcare professionals is one of the biggest challenges in pharma marketing for many reasons. First, there are not that many targeting opportunities available, since few capabilities are offered by some publishing platform and only based on geography and specialization. But marketers need targeting capabilities to be based on their prescription behavior and formulary access. So the healthcare market is complicated and involves many stakeholders like care providers, insurers, and the consumers. So everyone has a say in deciding which product or service to adopt. So this complexity offers a challenge to healthcare providers, marketers, and they create an effective marketing strategy for healthcare professionals, but struggle to make it work. So another current challenge is collecting and analysis of large volume of data. Data has become one of the essential elements actually and the assets for a company. So within the pharma industry, data refers to all of the data entered by a company's representatives or generated by machines. So it is also worth So it's also worth mentioning here that the data collection in general have become a critical element for companies across industries looking to gain an advantage over their competitors. The importance of this data lies on companies' ability to conduct the needed data analysis to guide decision making. So within pharma industry, many risks exist concerning drug approval, quality control, and the supply chain. And to overcome these challenges, operators in the pharma industry need tools to gather and manage data effectively while creating action plans. So companies can collect data at several levels, such as maintenance, production, and quality service. All of these need to be digitized and then exploited to resolve operational challenges in pharmaceutical industry. So also data collection needs to be planned. Planning will help prevent wasted resources, whether you decide to proceed with continuous improvement or to set up maintenance planning. The collected data needs to be stocked and studied. So another challenge in the pharmaceutical companies is to increase the transparency. Increasing the level of transparency has always been a topic of debate, since research and development is a proven way of getting more insights about processes, the people behind them, and how the results are attained are seen clear in public and interest in the pharma industry during the pandemic. and it was necessary to communicate this openly to the world. Data safety is one of the challenges about increasing transparency to share the data or personal data, and that lead to be very much effort to be put into sharing more information about the clinical trials while keeping information about the patient identified confidential. The data from this trial have a lot of value, so being transparent at this much may be a challenge actually. So to overcome this, we need to change. But not always change is easy. There is always a resistance to change. And I mean by resistance to change is one of the key challenges facing the pharmaceutical industry today. The pharmaceutical industry can be resistant to change for several reasons. Maybe it can be difficult to accomplish due management resistance to significant alteration in operations. This industry is also highly regulated, which means that any change made can be expensive because of the need for evaluation. And due to pharma manufacturing challenges, some manufacturers might prefer to stick to paper records because doing so makes it easier to mask some errors and can help overcome some of the challenges in pharma manufacturing. And that's also give us back to invest in software challenge I mentioned earlier. So resistant to change in many cases have resulted in solution not being adopted. So that we need to accept the change, not to resist it, so we can be more successful in pharmaceutical industry. So the fear of a change, in addition to this, is also commonly here the phrase, well, you know, that's the way things have always been done, so why to change it? And that is totally not working out. Moving to data security, one of the most significant regulatory challenges in pharmaceutical industry is how data is stored and managed. Cyber threats to the pharma industry make them prone to identify theft and evolving attack vectors. As organizations focus more on the digitization, more of their valuable data gets stored online, making them a bigger target to cyber criminals. So pharmaceutical companies also have a vast number of devices collecting health patient data that is stored online. Also in manufacturing, the data was collected from machines, from operators, and from the management. So using tools like big data and the Internet of Things, one of the biggest pharma industry challenges is that it increases the risk and makes it more critical for organizations to introduce security and privacy by design. So for solving today's pharma challenges, it requires modern approach. And that is the last challenge mentioned. So as current challenge, of course, there are many trends in pharma industry. So the top 10 trends in pharma industry are those in the slide. Discover all pharma technologies and startups. Let me say that the COVID-19 pandemic has forced all companies to rethink many aspects of their business, including manufacturing, supply chain, and the same holds true to pharma companies. The pandemic also highlights the need for improving the speed and accuracy of finding and mass producing novel drugs and treatments, and vaccines as well, to respond to such large scale and high pressure demands. Further, startups and scale-ups working in the intersection of life science research, biotechnology, and pharma are discovering new properties of cells and molecules to deliver possibly game-changing solution for the industry, as well as the larger public. So one of the pharma industry strength is artificial intelligence. The use of AI is accelerating the drug discovery and development processes. Startups are exploring the use of these technologies to address the various challenges in the pharma industry, such as optimization of the manufacturing processes, as well as designing effective marketing and post-launch strategies. Patient identification is a crucial step in the drug discovery and development process, especially for conducting clinical trials. So AI simplifies the identification of eligibility criteria of that includes patients, and also makes the cohort identification process faster and cheaper. So this trend in pharma industry makes the industry easier. For example, there is a British startup called Pangea Data. It uses unsupervised algorithm to identify patient cohort for drug discovery, clinical trial, and real-world evidence studies. The machine learning-based software scans through electronic health record and unstructured doctor's notes to find the right patient based on phenotypes. The startup also develops a library of artificial intelligence models for different disease areas. There are many drug discovery and AI tools, such as the Invivo. It's a Canadian startup who develops a novel algorithm for drug discovery too. So it's a trending material in the world, and has a bright future actually. So to talk about big data analysis and real world data, the pharma industry requires a high performance system to analyze the large volume of data generated during the drug discovery and development process. So pharmaceutical companies use third parties to share data with collaborators, making data management a crucial area of focus. The advancement in analytical techniques is also turning historical and real-time data available with pharmaceutical companies into valuable assets for the predictive diagnosis, prescription, and description analysis. So moreover, these analytical techniques are used on almost all types of medical data, from patient records, medical imaging, and hospital data, to name a few. So big data analytical, it's also a trend in pharma industry who need more focus and to know more about it. And for one other trend is flexible production. That means in pharma industry, exploring new ways of manufacturing due to the changing market dynamics, such as small batches for precision medicine. In other words, single-use bioreactors, they also gaining popularity. They reduce downtime and increase productivity. These bioreactors achieve this by elimination of complex steps like cleaning and validation between separate production stages, new types of bioreactor systems, and consumer manufacturing processes address the increasing focus on biopharmaceuticals. So in addition to eliminating downtime, continuous manufacturing has low energy needs and achieve high productivity and minimize the amount of waste, which is a trend right now, not only in pharma industry, but in any other manufacturing industry, since minimizing the amount of waste help in the global to go clean. So for an example for such technology, I can mention the one Belgian startup called Sequoia. It offers novel technology for production processes by tailoring the continuous manufacturing process equipment down to the ideal scale. Okay, I was talking about flexible production for a single-use bioreactors for precision medicine. So precision medicine now it's a trend in pharmaceutical industry, since it comes from the idea of treating each patient as a unique individual. Advancement in omic and data analysis are providing new insights into how the human body responds to drugs. This knowledge, along with the advanced manufacturing methods, such as additive manufacturing, is making personalized medicine as a reality. Drug exposure models determine the pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics properties for drugs, and arriving at the right dosage of a drug based on age, based on sex, based on comorbidities and other clinical parameters. So, for example, for this precision medicine, there is a French startup, Exact Cure, offers a software solution for simulating the effects of the drug in a patient's body based on personal characteristics. The startup makes use of population pharmacokinetics as well as scientific literature data for real-time prediction of efficacy of a drug interaction on every and each individual. Trending now also the additive manufacturing, the need for precision medicine is also making pharmaceutical companies rethink the manufacturing process. A lot of research is underway for making advanced 3D printers that print tissues or cells. This is a great innovation that 3D printing of human tissues has great application in drug development and organ engineering and regenerative medicine. This allows to development of age or physiology-dependent medical formulations, as well as precision pills. Bioprinters also help in pushing innovation in bioinks, tissue engineering, and microfluids. This 3D printing can be found in Britain. It's called FabRx. It's a manufactured M3D maker printer for making personalized pills. And in the US also, there is a startup, Frontier Bio. It's a bioprinter for making 3D human tissues. So this trend is an effective way to test new pharmaceuticals. Another trend in pharma industry is blockchain. Blockchain technology is very significant for the pharmaceutical industry in every stage of the production and distribution of the drug. The stakeholders in the pharma industry are in general extremely secretive about their data due to the sensitive nature of the data. Blockchain technology is also being explored to tackle the use of counterfeit medicines and substandard drugs that enter in the pharmaceutical supply chain and kill thousands of patients. Realization of transactions makes blockchain a promising solution for tracking and securing the pharma transaction ecosystem. German startups called PharmaTrace. It offers a blockchain-based ecosystem to secure data and deploy smart contracts in the pharmaceutical industry. Another one is a British one called Nevera Track. It's a blockchain-based document collaboration and workflow management platform for the pharmaceutical supply chain. So for that, I need to talk about another trend is extended reality, XR, mixed reality, virtual reality, and augmented reality is enabling visualization like never before. Pharma startups are exploring the possibilities of extended reality technologies in pharma research and manufacturing spheres. Extended reality tools enable data rich and meaningful real-time location agnostic interaction among research teams. So they are making human augmentation in pharma reality through extended reality wearables and tools. So that lead to a real world data, real world evidence with transforming innovation. And in the pharma industry, real world evidence and data includes people, health status, treatment data, and health reports collected routine. So this is a trend also in the pharma industry, US-based mostly, and there is another Romanian startup called OncoChain, who's specialized in oncology. It helps in cancer detection and treatment and cure. So digital therapeutic and curative therapies are also trending now. They are used to prevent, manage, or treat the physical, mental, and behavioral conditions with these non-pharmaceutical and tech-driven solutions are either stand alone or used along with medications, device, or therapies. Digital therapeutics let each individual have greater control over their health and outcomes. There is digital therapeutic startups in Germany called Topavision, so making smartphone-based digital therapeutic for myopia. The startup solution aims to slow down the progression of myopia in young population, especially children. So the solution at least achieve the activation of dopamine and neurotransmitter, and it plays an important role in eye growth regulation, which is a very huge innovation. And that leads to like curative therapies as well. This paradigm shift happening in the area of treating illness from managing disease to curing disease altogether. So curative therapies such as cell and gene therapies are changing the way we deal with chronic diseases or difficult to treat conditions by eliminating the need of long-term treatments. In gene therapy, genetic materials is introduced into the cells to compensate for abnormal genes or to make a beneficial protein. Genetically engineered viruses are used for gene therapy. So trends in pharma industry are in a fast-paced environment are rapidly developing. Hopefully, the MENA region will cope with this trends in pharma industry. And so after covering the manufacturing industry departments, categories, and the trends, let's talk about developing strategies for a successful career in the pharma industry. So for planning to our first job in pharma industry, so I gathered step by step how to plan a career for as you start out in the career, you should take some time to consider where you want to end up and plot a path to get there. It doesn't mean those choices are set in stone. You can be flexible in discovering other opportunities later, but it means that you have clear goal to work towards. But that's a big task if you never spend time doing something like this before. So you can grab a piece of paper, a pen, or open a new Word document and start your career planning process in 5-6 steps. So as a step one is motivation. You need to identify your motivation. And the first step, you are going to dig deeper to what you want. If you consider career fulfillment aspect, step one is about identifying the why. So essentially with this step is going to have consider what kind of life you want. This has to be your first consideration because it will change all the future decisions you will make. So first, think about what you value the most in life. Maybe your thought, you can say money, travel, power, control, responsibility, whatever it is, note it and build your plan to go further and have this goal. So this is by no means an exhaustive list. You must value might be something completely different as what I mentioned, but there is no wrong answer. What you have for your future, what you have your goal imagination, go for it and plan it from zero. So what you want from your career. Now we need to think about career-specific things to uncover the right path. Don't be constrained by thinking about the next job you are aiming for or any specific job that matters. This about long-term, what you'd ideally want to be doing. So instead about having a magic wand and what would you want from a job? Now, you can think and answer some question in your mind. What parts of previous jobs have I enjoyed? What tasks do you look forward to doing? When are you happiest? And can you capture that in a workplace environment? What hobbies do you have? And what they tell you about your personality Any type of task you enjoy, be repetitive, predictable, project new novel, or whatever, have your answers written and focus on them. So again, there are tasks that may immediately bring some things to mind, but to complete them thoroughly, you are probably need to give yourself time and think about them. So for this step, look at your answers, see if you can spot any patterns. Are there common themes or ideas to keep repeating? This will help you identify the core things are important for you. So after figuring out the why and what motivates you, figure out your skills. Now you need to figure out and write down the skills you have. To fully capture your current skill, think about professional experience, experience in education, hobbies, interests, social situations. You'll probably find it quite easy to capture things like technical skills and things you have training in, and that's important. But I can guarantee you have more skills than what you think. So I just want you to develop and go deeper and uncover the range of transferable skills you have. So for the pharmaceutical industry, skills are industry independent. So you might have heard of them referred as soft or core skills. For example, written communication, verbal communication, attention to details, leadership, team working, self-motivation, result-oriented, initiate project management, and supervision. Those are highlighted skills to be successful in the pharmaceutical industry, but they are not limited to them. So to identify your transfer skills, think about the duties and responsibilities you had in previous roles. For example, if you worked in an office and trained a new colleague when they joined, to help them and to write a check sheet for essential part for their job and numbers of who calls if they had the questions, etc. This displayed team working, initiative, and organization. So this is a small example for how to rethink about everything you do. If you consider all previous experience in this way, you will quickly develop a long list of skills. To identify your strengths and weakness, you need to, on daily basis, focus on yourself and how you behave and what you like and what you dislike and what are praised for, what you need to ask your colleague for help with. All these can actually help you in this in precisely deciding what skills you have and figure it out. So after knowing the why and figuring your skills, now let's go to get to know the opportunities and the job roles in the industry. So now we step away from you and look to the job opportunities in pharma. This can be the most difficult stage, since for now you don't know the things you don't know, but don't let that be off. It's worth giving this your best effort. And again, we are here to guide you and to tell you how to go step by step and figure out the opportunities. So I'll go to understand manufacturing industry briefly, so you can get to opportunities and job roles. this, let's start abroad and see if we can narrow down the specific industry at all. You've got pharma in mind, but there are still a range of similar options open to you. Pharmaceutical manufacturing, this is a traditional making of medicine that involves combining chemicals to make small active molecules from scratch and packaging them in a way the body can use. It's just like tablets, for example. For biopharmaceutical manufacturing, this is a much newer industry that takes things found naturally in biology, like proteins and cells, and packages them into a usable treatment, while naturally in biology, like protein and cells, are many of the same steps apply, and the regulations certainly do. So some of these jobs can be a little different due to the different process involved. So knowing you need pharmaceutical manufacturing, biopharmaceutical manufacturing, or medical device manufacturing can help you understand the industry and the job opportunities you have. So talking about medical device manufacturing, this is a diverse term that covers the manufacture of antibody. So think of and product that diagnose, prevents, or treat health condition without any chemical changes. So think of things like heart monitors, contact lenses, artificial joints. This is a very different industry, often following the procedures, discrete manufacturing, and therefore offers a very different range of jobs. Salaries can be lower than in pharma, but it can be easier to get an entry-level position in medical device manufacturing. So if you want to understand more all these the industries, there is a combination product manufacturing industry. This industry manufactures products and combine medical devices with the pharmaceutical and biopharmaceutical products. So think of things like insulin injector pens, drug-eluting stents, and meter doses inhalers. So get to know what you are interested in and understand what's being made. It's important also, and there's a different department involved. So as a quick brief for overview departments of what I've said before about pharmaceutical industry categories, research and development. In this stage, experiments are done to find new products or improve existing one. Looks very different in the different industry. In pharma and biopharma, there is a strong focus on lab-based science roles filled by candidates with experience and advanced degrees. And in medical devices and engineering, it includes design engineering is dominant. For clinical trials, all products undergo strict testing procedure to prove they perform as expected. In pharma, this involves teams of nurses, pharmacists, coordinators, and administrators. Those are for the research. For development, at this point, testing and planning is carried out to establish how products can be made reliably at scale. There are many opportunities for engineering as well, and some scientists at this stage. For the production and manufacturing, this is the part of the process where the products eventually end up with patients are made. So in a typical manufacturing plant, this department makes up about 50% of staff. So there is a wide range of positions available to suit many skill sets. So from entry-level operator role through the specialist engineer and management, there is a significant role for progress with this department, but it can also serve as a starting point to gain on the floor experience. before moving into more advanced role in more specialized department. For quality assurance and quality control, those are professionals. Quality assurance largely preventive role. The quality control professionals sample test the manufacturing output of several stages, including the finished results. So in pharma, quality control testing is typically carried out scientists in lab testing. And for the quality assurance role, they create, revise, and implement documentation that ensure that the manufacturing process is operating as it should doing. So requires detailed knowledge of the manufacturing process and the regulated requirements. Regulatory affairs is another highly specialized department. This time dealing with the documentation and the required by regulations. For sales and marketing, often based within company head office, to this time dealing with the documentation that is required by regulation also. So sales and the marketing teams advertise, promotes the products in line with all applicable rules and regulations. So consider your own area of interest. And so you can decide where you find yourself. So that was step number 3 in building a successful career in pharmaceutical industry. Get to know the opportunities and job roles. I told you briefly about them. And going to step 4 to plot a career path. Okay. After researching a specific role, the easiest way to do this is to look at job advert within your area of interest. For example, say you want to work in quality control, you start looking as many job adverts as you can for quality control jobs of all levels. Before long, you probably have an idea of the most junior quality role and what the interest requirements are. And you can research up the seniority to see where your dream job lies. So you can look up as many job adverts related to quality control, even the senior levels, so you can see or predict where you will be in the future. So one point here is to consider any and all opportunities. This is all the time to start narrowing down your ideas based on your skills and values, the level of education you are willing to pursue. So, for example, if many research roles in pharma requires a scientific PhD and you don't even have a scientific bachelor, you are 7 to 10 years away from this goal or even of getting started. So having said that, if you really like the sound of production management roles, but they require a bachelor's degree and you have high school level qualification, this is the sort of educational requirement that could overcome with part-time study over several years while you gain work experience. So you can combine studying and work to get the career path you want. So you will also start to notice here that different companies can call the same job different things. So the job title can mean different things in different companies. So that can be frustrating, and the only way to get the path is to read the job adverts and read the job description. What tasks are here to perform? So reading and keeping up to date with adverts and company titles can help identifying what specific role you want. And that was the plot of a career path. For for the planning for next job in the past, with a clear idea of where you are ultimately headed, it's now time to focus on the next job in the path. You need to figure out you're currently suitable to fulfill the criteria and the skills you noted, and what stands between you and that next job. Is it just time? Is it just experience? Or do you need the qualifications, additional skills, or specific contacts? So figure it out, conduct a SWOT analysis that will talk about it, how to conduct a SWOT analysis here. Okay. SWOT, it means strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Try where possible to be objective about this and consider things from an employer point of view. So for the strength part, be honest. This is the true, and it is a true time to feel self-conscious, and no one has to see what you write. So be specific, use your skills and qualities, be honest with yourself. And I listed 3 questions to ask yourself that can help figuring out your strength. What are specific useful skills and qualities you are bringing to the next role? Which essential or desired criteria do you already meet? Why are you better qualified than your peers who might also be looking for that next step? I can add, what are the specific examples of success or achievement you can give that demonstrated and suitably performed to the duties? Answering this question honestly with yourself can help come up with your strength points and use it to sustain your career path and develop. Talking about weaknesses, again, be honest. This isn't the time to try to black your way through. It's important that you are aware so you can take steps to work on this weakness. What are you currently lacking and would stop you from getting that job or that dream? Are you missing qualifications? Are you missing experience, knowledge? Is there on-the-job experience or knowledge you need first? Do you need better relationships with colleagues, management, or customers? Many types of weakness that can be self-conscious about and you can work on them so you can overcome what make you far to get your goal. In addition to that, you need to discover the opportunities in your environment. You have to think, is the department or as the company you are applying for is expanding? Is it a startup company? Is it established one? Have any new companies been announced within your area? Do you need to relocate? Are you able to relocate? Decide these opportunities and what's your point of view about it before applying, so that makes it easier to you to decide where to go. Maybe you need to make some connections with people with opportunities as soon as they came up. So surround yourself with successful people, with contacts that work in the area you want to be, so they can inform you and you will be updated about the opportunities. to talk about the threats, to analysis your SWOT. Threats is not actually depends on you or what you have as a weakness. It's about in the company, the partners of the era you are in, the environment. So you need to ask yourself, is the department or industry slowing down in your era? There is economical crisis in the country that can not be helping you going to fulfill your needs. Are there changes in the job that may leave you less qualified? For example, changing essential qualification, changing technology, the policy of the firm you are work with has changed and that become a threat for you. And do you anticipate any life events that might impact your progress toward and I mean for maybe it's a personal life event, so you can have an overview about the future of your life, not only career-wise, also personal-wise, and see how you will act for it. So the next job on your path may not be a few years away. So set yourself shorter term goals to make sure you are keeping on track, and think about the qualifications, skills, networking, and knowledge. And to do that, and to help you more to set your goals, set a small goal. I mean, but small, that is of 3 years of experience in this job to consider for the next. How will you know you are on track? Sorry, the slides are not responding. Okay, we are here. I was saying that to be considered for the next, how will you know you are on track, what you want to have achieved by next year, to know what you are still are on the right. Set some annual goals, but think about how this maps across the year. You need to keep making progress, set smaller goals so you keep feeling on momentum of progress. So, for example, let's take the goal of I'm going to be a better employee. So that's not a very good goal. What does better look like? And when will you know when you are achieved it? So goals should be SMART. SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time specific. So let's improve that goal by making it SMART. Specific goals can't be broad. You have to clearly know when you have achieved them. So to move from I'm going to be a better employee to I'm going to be a better employee by being of less, getting on better with my colleagues, increase my job knowledge, have more skills and professional trainings. So that we are being specific about what a better employee looks like for you. So being specific, then the goal should involve a specific metric that you can track and see the progress in. Make your goal measurable. So you can move from I'm going to better employee by being off less. I'm going to decrease my absentee rate to 0. So that you can measure how days off you are so taking. So you can that specific amount. So you can be having a smart, measurable, specific goal. And so, and that makes it easier to be achieved. So there is no point in setting goals you can't achieve. You will just get demoralized and perhaps even stop trying to make progress at all. So I'm going to decrease my absence rate to 0. So I'm going to decrease my absence rate to 90%. So I'm still specifying at measurable, but it's not going to feel completely lost if you get the flu and have the take some time. So it's still specific and measurable, as I said, but it's achievable. Set it relevant. Your goal should have a direct impact on the things you are trying to accomplish. There is no point in putting lots of effort into something if it's not ultimately going to do you any good. So we set a goal of bringing lunches from home every day. And while that may achieve a lot of things, it's unlikely to be relevant to getting the next promotion. So your goal should be have a direct impact on the things you're trying to accomplish, not randomly and ultimately going to do any good. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time specific. You have to create the timeline so you will know when you're aiming for, and you will know if you have to decrease my absence rate by 90%, so I'm going to decrease my absence rate by 90% this calendar year or this quarter of year. So you can succeed more and be more relevant with your goals. So you can start keeping moves. Completely best interviewing is routinely used through the pharma and medical device industry. Maybe to be typical in a time when whatever question can be challenging if you are not. So with the research you have done to get this point, there is no excuses and there is no answer that you can, there is no question that you can't answer actually in the interview. So competency-based questions usually assess transferable skills, and since you have already identified the common skills required for the next job, you are one step ahead. So it was the for planning for the next job and pick the your goals smart. The last step to be successful in the pharmaceutical industry is to keep, is to keep your plan alive. How would you keep your plan alive? It's that easy as you revise your plan regularly, schedule it, add it to your calendar, set a reminder for it. Just organize all that, what you think of and what your plan do, and find a checkup timeline that works for you. Some people like to revise their goals weekly to make sure they are moving forward and there is no sense of wasted time. For others, that's too much, and the monthly checkup is preferred. So revise your career plan regularly as you feel comfortable with. Appraisal preparations can be a good reason to revise it. You probably want to check in on your progress towards your goals more frequently than annually. What's most important that you pick timeline that you will stick to. So when it's time to review your career plan, revise it with updated knowledge and information considered. Are your goals still the same? Is the route to get there still the same? Have you found a better option? Have you found a quicker path? All that help you to revise your goal. So be also for opportunities. Okay. Get to know for or area of interest. I put about the analysis, smart goals, and I have final tips for you. I advise you to talk about your plans. The final part to keep going your plan alive is to talk to others about it. A good manager, a good partner will want to hear about goals that they can help you work towards. Use appraisal time to discuss the next step and what they can do to help get you there. Agree action plans. Make sure they are followed up. But more than that, talk to people more generally about your goals. People can't help if they don't know what you are aiming for, but know specifically to who you are talking about your plans. Choose the right person, choose the right one who can help you through, and you can make your plan alive, and you can get another point of views or another opportunities. So this is a pro tip for you. And another tip is to be on the lookout for the opportunities. Always be looking up for opportunities to make the next step. Your company might have a good development plan in place, but that puts you on their timeline. It may be quicker to move companies for promotions, comes flexibility. The plan's not about deciding on a goal job and really sticking to that idea for next 10 years. It's about giving you a long-term focus so you can keep momentum. It's fine to change things as you get more information. So if you do get opportunities them as your goal, does it help you reach your goal? Are you consciously changing your goal? Be deliberate in your decision making, and that's what I all have to say for you in this session. And I'm open for your questions if you have one. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hada, for this amazing presentation. And we'd like to dedicate around 10 minutes now for if any of the attendees have any questions. You can type them in the Q&A box right above.
Okay.
So there's a question from Marina. What is a medical coder, and will it have a future? And is it satisfied in non-demand?
Okay. Medical coder or medical writer is actually in the none in the MENA region. It's for the European or the US or the developing countries. So it will have a future for it. Yes, yes, of course. It's a part of the R&D department, and that have to be continuously developed and updated. So fine, yes. Non-demand, I actually what precisely non-demand, but if you're aiming to be a medical coder or a medical writer, you need to be abroad, not in the developing countries. So,
okay, we have another question, which is just a second. Do you recommend to start in a marketing department as a fresh graduate, or do you have a better advice?
Okay. I mentioned before, it depends on what skills you have and what you are aiming to, which department you are aiming to build your career to. Marketing and distribution is the easiest way to have a job. And so starting as a medical representative, or certifications, just some trainings in the marketing department and learning about the products you have, and you can go. But once you go there as a fresh graduate in the medical representative or marketing department, and this is your career path, you will end up in marketing and sales. You can switch easily to be in the manufacturing, or production, or quality assurance, or R&D. So it's a whole different career path and a whole different department. So once you are in, the switching is difficult. So you decide what you want long term, and you can know that the great decision you need or not, or if you have you need for startup or money to get a job for money wise, you can go for it. It's the most payable roles in pharmaceutical industry. So it depends on what you want, more what I advise.
Okay, so we have another question from Lena. She says, is it possible to get a regulatory affair position as a fresh graduate, since it's a specialized field?
Okay, yes, it's possible and it's easy. As I said, from the marketing internship, it's only need to know about the regulations of the country and be careful. Maybe in the same country, the regulations differs from regions. So a knowledge about regulatory requirements and papers and how to revise the CDD files and the regulations the Ministry of Public Health of the country want to need. It's very easy, and it's a position for fresh graduate, and it may be promoted to regulatory affairs manager and be in this. But also when you start with the regulatory, switching to manufacturing and quality assurance is not easy. So it's a great plan your career path and see if you want to still in this regulatory affair position or career, or you want something further, but start up with the regulation is good for you.
Okay, another question from Muzammil. What will you suggest during pharmacy studies? Which skills are necessary to enhance for better future as a pharmacist?
What to suggest that is enhance better future as well? Okay. As a pharmacist, I'm a pharmacist too, so I know that we are different from any healthcare providers, that we know more about the drugs, how the drugs affect the body's pharmacology, and how to choose the type of pharmaceutical forms to help patients. So skills to enhance during studying or the future is to focus on what we are specialized for. In case you need to go for pharmaceutical industry, and learn about the regulations learn about the guidelines, international guidelines like good manufacturing practice. If you want to go for marketing, develop skills of good communication skills, since you are in contact with healthcare providers and consumers and customers. So to enhance it better, to enhance better skills, it depends on also what you aim to have. So right now you can write down your skills, what you have, what you want to, and I can send you what skills precisely you need to this career. I can help with addressing the skills you need, but in general, your scientific background needs to be on top. So that's what we are the pharmacists here for. Thank you.
Okay, so the next question. Okay, what are the best skills or certificate to earn to break into pharma tech, particularly AI, as a student with no prior experience and beginner in coding and data analysis skills?
Okay. After getting a bachelor degree in pharmacy or biochemistry or any healthcare related field, there is a master degree called data analysis, master in AI, master in biotechnology. Those are all are one in the same jar. So you can research more about from where you can get this. Let me say the US is the top of biotechnology. You can search what opportunities and what measures in the pharma industry there, the universities are. As a beginner in coding and data analysis skills, start searching about AI, how you can benefit from it. So the trends I talked about in the slide, I can go back to it for you. Artificial intelligence, big data analysis, extended reality XR. You can know more about it by searching. It's, the informations are all clear and all the data are in the internet. So if you can't find this, you can also contact me and I can answer for it. Okay.
Okay, our next question is from Maria. How can recent graduates obtain a favorable market access and pricing position?
I didn't understand the question right. How can recent graduates obtain a favorable market access and pricing? I think you are asking for marketing and pricing, so it's a sales position. If that through how I can understand the question, that means to obtain a favorite market access is there is something called EMA. It means how much products are in the market, how they are priced, how much category they have, and each category, how much it sells quarterly, the trends of the behavior of the products in the market are stored in this data. But I don't know where are you from or from which country, since some countries find that confidential and not share it without paying amount of money. So to obtain market access, if you don't have this EMA data, you need to go to market and work as a community pharmacist and see in your region how the return on investment or how the products are running in the market, but the pricing position you are asking to the pricing positions part of regulatory affairs role. There is some calculations from the Ministry of Public Health of each country and the margin of profit for the company and for the pharmacist. And there is a calculation for the pricing. But is if you are asking for how to get this position, it's through the regulatory affairs department, not for the sales. For market access, it's sales and marketing thing. Hope I answered properly since I didn't get the question right.
Okay, so and the final question is, can you rename all the startup pharmacy companies that you mentioned in the slides?
I didn't understand what.
Can you can you rename the startup companies that you mentioned in your slides?
Okay. Yes, I can. Okay. For let me go back to the slide so I can remind
please.
myself what I said.
Okay.
Okay, understand. I think it was about the trends. I think. Wait, give me. صح, the top trends. Okay. Wait for me.
It's okay, take your time.
Okay. Artificial lens. Update Pangea Data, British startup, PANGAEA Data, British startup. In Vivo, it's a Canadian startup, INVIVO. For big data and analysis, I mentioned a Belgian startup, Primel, PRIML, and the flexible production, I mentioned Sika Technologies, a Belgian startup, and Celoxys, a Scottish one. For precision medicine, ExactQ, a French startup. For additive manufacturing, I've mentioned the FabRx, FABRX, British one for 3D printer making, and there is a US-based startup called FRONTIER Bio. It's a 3D bio printer. For the blockchain, it's Trace. It's a German startup, and VeraTrack, a British one. For extended reality XR, Nanom, NANOME, US-based, and German startup called Good Innovation. What else? For real-world data, it's a US-based one called Graticule, GRATICULE. It's for oncology. One Romanian called OncoChain. For digital therapy, treatment, Gold Dopa Vision, DOPA from dopamine and the vision for the vision of sight. And finally, for the curative therapies, there is a U.S. one called Lacerta Therapeutics, LACERTA, and Mogri, it's a British one, MOGRI. That's all.
Thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Hada. We want to apologize for any technical issues regarding the voice. Thank you for this, for these amazing slides and valuable information, and thank you for your time. Thanks for the participants and attendees. The certificates will be sent via email as soon as possible. Again, thank you for your time. I'm Yahya Zubi, and this was just IVPN. Thank you.